Hello, I'm Peter Whittle. Now, we talk a lot on this channel about Islamophobia, but it has suddenly become extremely important and in a way in which you can have a direct effect. There is a parliamentary definition of Islamophobia, which was agreed some years ago and adopted by Labour. And it runs thus: Islamophobia is rooted in racism and is a type of racism which targets expressions of Muslimness or perceived Muslimness. Now, you might already be familiar with that. It makes, as you can see, very little sense. The reason it's suddenly become very important is because behind the scenes, and keeping it as secret as possible, this government set up a committee which was headed by Angela Rayner in an attempt to actually get this definition formally adopted to be enforced in law. Now, where do you come in? The fact is, what they've had to do, because of pressure from the public and indeed lots of other great bodies such as the Free Speech Union and indeed MPs such as Nick Timothy.
But Islamophobia, as I was saying, is a made-up and nonsensical concept that aligns protection of individuals from hatred with the protection of ideas and beliefs, and is therefore, in my view, completely unacceptable in principle.
They've had to extend what is a consultation period. That gives you the chance to tell them what you think of this proposed definition. Now, there are various links that you can go to, which we will put in the paragraph of text below this video. But I just have to explain again why this is so important. The definition of Islamophobia, which is being proposed, is effectively a blasphemy law, and indeed would go further than that and prohibit any form of criticism of Islam or indeed Muslims in general. We already know, and we've seen quite a few examples actually over the past 6-7 years, of certain Muslim pressure groups trying to close down discussion or indeed free speech in the name of Islamophobia. The Muslim Council of Great Britain, for example, tried to get any mention of Islam struck from the reporting of the Manchester Arena attack. This week, for example, we have been looking at the 20th anniversary of the terrorist attack in London on 7/7. This was when the transport system was attacked. 52 people were killed. This has been looked at by the media, the mainstream media, pretty much all week. However, what's been startling is that it would appear that this attack came out of thin air, because we were never really told in the coverage who was responsible for it. It's like a veil has been drawn across it. This is in fact a form of self-censorship on the part of the media, and indeed it has to be said on the part of many of us. If you were not around in 7/7, you really would not know who was actually to blame. Now, with this new definition of Islamophobia, that will sort of become an entrenched way of doing things. It will limit our free speech even further. It will decimate what the arts can do, indeed, what can be seen on TV and indeed in the cinema. And that is why it is so crucial that you add your voice to this consultation. If there's a sense of urgency about the message, it's that we have until the 20th of July, that is next Sunday. It's very, very simple. And in fact, Nick Timothy, if you look, he's on Twitter and on social media, has actually put out some ideas of templates for what you might write to the government. As I said, we have talked about this definition of Islamophobia on this channel many times before. I have certainly highlighted the danger which it certainly represents. But also alongside that, our own locals groups, which grows with every month, has been campaigning and raising awareness on this particular issue. It is in fact one of those points at which everything coalesces and shows you exactly the kind of danger which we face. But at the same time, often people still say, well, you know, what can we actually do? This is a great example, this moment now, where you can actually do something and make your voices heard. So please do get in touch with the consultation. All of the links will be in the text below, and make your voice heard. The future of free speech depends on it. Thank you.